Hello, welcome back. This is a collective reading for Scorpio. I realized that in all of the readings that I did this month so far, I've been saying the moon phases as if they're coming up, and we're actually almost past that season. So I think these readings are coming up more so for like the next season, but some of the stuff that I've been talking about is stuff that definitely came up like during Gemini season, for example, that you will need in order to integrate for Cancer season, which is I think it's after Gemini. Yes, it is. So take whatever resonates, leave whatever does not. Do not force what doesn't fit. But tuning in for you, this feels almost like a restructuring. It feels like you will be going through a restructuring. It might feel like literally a demolition of certain areas in your life, certain aspects. So for you, the first card that I got was the Eight of Pentacles. And as soon as this one came out, I was like, ooh, that feels different. This feels new and it feels good. The card that followed that was the Empress, the Queen of Cups, and the Four of Pentacles. The Empress and the Queen of Cups, however, did come out in reverse, and they kind of carried the same energy with them, but different elements. So digging into the Eight of Pentacles, this one feels like you have been doing a lot of work with your subconscious. And the reason why I say that is just because there is quite a few like skulls around here, which to me just signifies like transformation. But at the very center, there's like a transformed or a super colorful, almost like a sugar skull type of thing. And it has like an anchor within it. And then with the octopus and so many eyes around here, I just feel like it's been some deep subconscious work, whether or not you realize that you were doing it or not. I think that you have allowed yourself to feel and to get a little bit more vulnerable with yourself, maybe even with other people. You've been able to expand your perception and overall your self-awareness to be able to to be able to deeply connect with the parts of self that were previously suppressed, maybe disconnected or ignored, because sometimes when we are so like hyper focused on things that just show up in our current reality, we might not want to dig into the subconscious or be able to integrate those parts. It feels like you anchored yourself enough with your core truth that you've finally been able to explore some of these aspects. So I'm really proud of you. This feels like some deep shit. I think that you had to get really uncomfortable with this, and you might have felt like you were it almost feels like can't talk. It almost feels like some of these things might have felt like self-inflicted pain even, or self-inflicted discomfort, or maybe even like hatred to some degree, just because of maybe how much you unearthed. So you might have been made aware of a pattern that you were repeating, or of a cycle that you had been stuck in, and you're like, why was I there for so long? Why did I keep doing this? And now you're like, oh, okay, so this pattern, this belief served this purpose for me, but I don't have to continue that. So I am very proud of you. This is a good card for me. And then with the Empress and the Queen of Cups, again, both of these had initially come out in reverse, and it feels like to some degree, while you have been able to tap a little bit more into your subconscious, I don't know that you're truly listening to your higher self or your intuition to the degree that you should be. And I say this because in both of these images, and it's funny because they're both like feminine images, which I would want to say is more symbolic of your intuition. But in both of these, they're almost like statues. And on the Queen of Cups, this one is definitely a little bit more watery, but I mean, you are a water sign, but at the same time, it feels like some of that wateriness, some of that exposure to your emotions, or just whenever the emotions come up, like you want to maybe shut down for comfort, or shut down because you're like, oh, what is this is too much, I'm gonna drown in it. But that's not true. When you don't allow yourself to dig into whatever these things are that are coming up, you are turning off a part of yourself that knows the answers that you're looking for. You're turning off the ability to connect to your higher self, to connect to source. And it also is almost like all the signs that you were looking for are showing up, but you're like, oh, I see it, but I don't know if I trust it. So I'm not going to go near it, or I'm not going to act upon this urge that I feel within my heart space, or I'm not going to build this any more than I already have because I don't think I trust it. I don't think I believe in it that much yet. And I think that this is, to some degree, it's like, it's not allowing you to truly co-create with the universe. And I think for you, especially right now, like abundance it's like it's right at the table, but for some reason I got this analogy of like a buffet. So let's say you go stay at a hotel and they have a free buffet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but you're like, oh, it's free? I don't know if I trust it. I feel like I'm gonna get charged for it later. And even though there's signs all over the place that say this is free, this is free, this is free, this is available to you, you're like, no, let me pay for this instead because I don't think I trust the way that this is showing up. And that's a really weird analogy, but I hope that connects with somebody. But it feels like that, like you are being shown different ways I just got like a bunch of different things at the same time. You're being shown different gifts of the universe, different ways that abundance shows up, but I don't think you're taking it. I think that you are keeping yourself at like a certain level that makes you feel comfortable, but I think that you might be confusing comfort with complacency. So you want to be really mindful of that. Don't do that to yourself. Both of these are really good cards when they are flipped upright. They're very, very abundant, joyful, enlightening, but they're in reverse. So don't allow your subconscious fears or worries or core beliefs that I think you have already been made aware of to seep back in and hinder your growth, your opportunities, or your abundance. And then the last card that I got for you, that's funny, is a Scorpion. So this is the Four of Pentacles, and the interesting part about this one, just kind of coming back to the first card with the octopus, this is a Scorpion. There's a little devil in the middle, and I think in the background there's like a shell or like a crab or something, and there's a lot of different snakes in here too. So it's like you might be, I don't know, I feel like it's like a dash of maybe self-sabotage because of maybe the complacency that you might be feeling. And also I think that because you're so deeply tied to, if I'm not mistaken, the planet of like Pluto, I think. I don't know too much about astrology, to be honest, but it feels like because you are so deeply tied to, I think, like the subconscious of everyone around you, you're not aware of how some of those things seep into your reality and how they might affect you. So you don't recognize it until it comes back and like stings you, and that's when you're like, oh damn, like I shouldn't have done this, damn, I should have done this instead. So be very aware of that. And also because I think you carry like a certain power within you that can easily influence other people, but at the same time you are also very easily influenced by other people, and sometimes this comes back to bite you. So be very, very mindful of who you keep within your inner circle, and make sure that their own negative or false beliefs are not seeping into your reality and becoming your own. It's pretty deep. I didn't expect that. Not for this month. And of course we're going into Cancer season, so yeah, it makes sense that things are kind of as deep as these cards are showing up as. The final card that I got for you is the Nine of Swords. This one did come out in reverse, so that's a good thing, but I don't know, I think that you are just being heavily influenced by external factors, by other people, and I'm not sure that you have realized it yet. So pay attention to whom you might feel most influenced by, how you might be allowing yourself to be influenced to that matter, and notice that when you disconnect from your own intuition, how it sets you back into these cycles or patterns or beliefs that you have so tirelessly worked through. And I want you to become more aware of those things so that you no longer listen to like the devil on your shoulder, so to speak. You have more than enough power available to you to transform yourself and really your situation. But if you are listening to a narrative or to a voice that is not your higher self, or that doesn't come from your own heart, you are going to feel disconnected, overwhelmed, and maybe even like numb. Be mindful of that. Yeah, that's all I have for you. That's all I have for you today. I think that this is going to be some deep work. I don't think it's going to be like particularly difficult though. I think just because you're accustomed to like being in those deep waters, it almost gives me like sink or swim energy. And do I think you're going to allow yourself to sink? I don't think so. But be mindful of the people who have allowed themselves to kind of sink even when they know how to swim. I hope that makes sense. This is all I have for you. Please remember, I will never dare you for a reading. My only Instagram is Mountains by Melody Ann, and I have 2 TikToks. One of them is Mountains by Melody Ann, and the second is The Holistic Healer. And you can schedule a one-on-one with me at theholistic.org, not .com. Thank you for watching.